Welcome. Settle into a comfortable place, breathe slowly, and let the noise of the day fade away. Tonight, we are not chasing excitement or stimulation. Instead, we are going to walk through a philosophy that has carried people through wars, loss, and uncertainty for over 2,000 years. Stoicism. The Stoics lived in a world of chaos. Rome was a place of shifting power, sudden violence and constant change, and yet they found a way to meet each day with calm. Their words have endured because they are not complicated. They do not promise to erase hardship, but they remind us that peace is possible even in the middle of storms. Over the course of this journey, we will explore the heart of Stoic thought. We will sit with Epictetus as he teaches the limits of control. We will walk with Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, as he reminds himself of patience and strength. We will listen to Seneca, who shows us how much of our suffering lives only in our imagination. We will learn practices, negative visualization, the embrace of fate, daily routines of reflection. And finally, we will think about how all of this can fit into our own world, filled with distractions and demands. This will not be rushed. Each chapter will unfold slowly with detail and care. Like the Stoics themselves, we will not hurry, but move with purpose. So close your eyes if you wish. Imagine the quiet of a lamplit study in Rome, a man writing calmly in his journal while the city outside roars. Or imagine a teacher in a humble cloak, reminding his students that freedom is found not in riches, but in the mind. This is where our journey begins. Chapter 1. The core idea. Control what you can. At the heart of Stoicism lies a simple division. Some things are in our control, some things are not. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the greatest Stoic teachers, opened his manual, the Enchiridion, with this truth. What is in our control? Our judgments, our choices, our actions. What is not? The weather, the economy, the past, the future, the opinions of others. The first step in Stoic practice is learning to see this line clearly. Imagine you are a farmer in ancient Rome. You plant seeds, you tend the soil, you work with care. But whether the rain falls, whether a storm comes, whether pests devour your crops, this is not yours to command. Your effort belongs to you. The harvest does not. Now imagine your own life today. You prepare for an interview. You speak with honesty. You show your best self. But whether the company chooses you is not yours to decide. Your preparation is yours. The outcome is not. This distinction is freeing. The Stoics remind us, do not tie your peace to things you cannot control. Do not place your happiness in the hands of strangers or in the shifting winds of chance. Instead, place it where it belongs, in your own reasoned choices. Epictetus said, "You may fetter my leg, but not even Zeus himself can overpower my will." His body could be restrained, his wealth could be taken, but his judgment, his character, his inner response, these could not be touched. And so the first chapter of Stoicism is clear. Peace comes not from bending the world to your desire, but from shaping your own desire to fit the world. Chapter 2. Marcus Aurelius. Calm in chaos. Marcus Aurelius was Emperor of Rome at a time of crisis. Wars pressed at the frontiers, a plague spread through the empire, court politics simmered with betrayal. And yet, each night, Marcus sat down with a wax tablet and wrote to himself. His writings, collected today as meditations, were not speeches to the public. They were private reminders to remain calm. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Imagine him, surrounded by advisors, soldiers, and demands, yet carving out quiet moments to remind himself of Stoic truths. He knew he could not command fate. He could not stop the plague. He could not control the loyalty of every general, but he could control how he met each day, with patience, with discipline, with a refusal to be made bitter by circumstances. For us, Marcus's life is a lesson in perspective. If an emperor, weighed down by burdens greater than most of us could imagine, could still find calm through Stoic practice, then we too can learn to steady ourselves in our own smaller storms. Chapter 3. Seneca on Imaginary Suffering. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher and statesman, observed that most of our pain does not come from reality, but from our imagination. He wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Think of how much time is spent in worry. You picture what might go wrong. You rehearse arguments in your head. You fear losses that never come. Each thought becomes a shadow of suffering, carried long before reality arrives." Seneca advised his students to catch these thoughts, to remind themselves that the future has not yet happened, that fear of tomorrow steals peace from today. He himself knew exile, political danger, and illness, yet he counseled others and himself to remember that life unfolds moment by moment. To fear endlessly is to live each hardship many times over. To meet life calmly is to suffer only once when it truly comes. The Stoic practice, then, is mindfulness before its time. Observe your thoughts. Ask, am I suffering from reality or from imagination? If it is only imagination, let it go. Chapter 4. The practice of negative visualization. One of the most striking practices of Stoicism is what they called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. It sounds harsh, but its purpose is gentle. The Stoics advised imagining loss before it comes, not to wallow, but to sharpen gratitude. Think of your home, your family, your health. Imagine just for a moment that they could be lost. Now return to the present and see them anew, precious, fleeting, not to be taken for granted. Seneca wrote that this practice frees us from surprise. If we remember that loss is part of life, we are less shaken when it arrives. And in the meantime, we are more grateful. You can practice this today in small ways. As you sip your coffee, imagine not having it tomorrow. As you walk outside, imagine no longer being able to. In that moment, ordinary life becomes extraordinary. Chapter 5. Amor fati, love of fate. The Stoics did not merely accept fate, they advised loving it. Amor fati, the love of fate. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The idea is simple. Obstacles are not interruptions of life, they are life. To resist them is to waste energy. To embrace them is to turn them into fuel. Imagine being delayed in traffic. You could rage against it, or you could use the time to practice patience, to reflect, to breathe. Imagine facing illness. You could curse your fortune, or you could see it as a chance to strengthen your character, to find compassion for others. Amor fati does not mean loving suffering for its own sake. It means recognizing that fate, in all its forms, is part of the path. To love fate is to love life, not only when it is easy, but when it is difficult too. Chapter 7. Stoicism for the modern world. The world today is filled with distractions. Notifications pull at us. News cycles stir anger and fear. Social media magnifies comparison and envy. Here, Stoicism is more relevant than ever. The dichotomy of control applies. You cannot control the algorithm, but you can control how often you pick up your phone. You cannot control the opinions of strangers online, but you can control your own response. In traffic, at work, in family life, each moment is an opportunity to apply Stoic calm. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If not, let it go. Where modern life demands speed and reaction, Stoicism invites slowness and reflection. Where the world demands outrage, Stoicism offers composure. Closing, calm courage. And so we come to the end of this journey. The Stoics lived in a world of turmoil, yet they left behind a wisdom that is gentle, steady, and enduring. Epictetus taught us to distinguish what we can control from what we cannot. Marcus Aurelius showed us that even an emperor can seek peace in his own mind. Seneca reminded us that much of our suffering is only imagined. Negative visualization sharpens gratitude. Amor fati transforms obstacles into the path. Daily practices prepare and steady us. And even in the modern world, Stoicism speaks with clarity. Take these lessons not as rigid rules, but as calm companions. Remember, the world will always bring storms. But within you lies the ability to remain steady, breathe slowly, release what is not in your control, embrace what is, and carry with you the quiet courage of the Stoics. If you want to see more, click the subscribe button and like.